We're just creating conversations with those that tell stories, especially those that turn it into music. Arrow.net, ARROE.net. We are unplugged and totally uncut with Simon Daniels from Autograph.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, Rockstar? How you doing today?
Good. How are you, my friend?
Absolutely fantastic. Well, here you are, the first step of a brand new release of an album, and I'll tell you what, this song, This Ain't the Place I Want to Be, this is a good starter, dude. Yeah,
and it's all like that. This is an album that you're going to be able to just to let it go and play over and over and over. I can't say, if you ask me if I have a favorite song, I would really have to dig in my head to find one, because I don't. They're all in the same level.
Well, this song right here, I swear to God, the one thing that's missing from radio these days is a great crossover song. And this one can be on a new rock as well as a top 40 station. I really expect this one to grow pretty fast.
This is what that I'm talking about. This is actually, there's all the songs, there's at least half the record. They fit exactly the format that you just described. They're all songs that can appeal to different markets and audiences and ages and even genres of music, and this is what we wanted to do, but it came naturally.
Is that the reason why the album is called Beyond? Because you knew something inside while you were gluing it together that this is going to reach beyond what we're used to?
Yeah, well, no, not because there was no reason, because when we came up with this name, our bass player who passed away, he was alive, and so it was all our decision. We just wanted to make it sound like a continuation and an extension, and respect the past, but move on to the future and bring everybody to the party.
I totally get it, and I respect this title even more now that you've shared it that way, because I don't believe in the D word. I believe in transition, and that we're all growing forward and stuff like that, and they're standing next to you no matter what.
Yes, absolutely, and that and so just happened to be kind of I wouldn't say a coincidence, but it was a perfect name. We were looking for a name that would actually translate that notion, and we came up with some other names, but they were not as specific. But this one nailed it.
Well, what were your emotions like when you saw that video for the very first time? Because I mean, it opens up with a salute to Randy.
Well, it was not. It was nice to make the video, but it was very emotional too. Yeah. So because we were there, so to go through to be in the set and go through the takes and the emotions and all this, it was almost like surreal to a certain degree. To a certain degree, I almost felt his presence there, as I feel like sometimes when we play shows lately. But it's just. When you watch the video, I think it says everything, and it's pretty emotional. It's not like the song was written for that reason, but there's a tie, and you can tie in the song with the video, and it's pretty much open to interpretation, like it should be.
Yeah. Speaking of performing, are you going to put Randy's bass up on that stage and take it for a tour?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Being live up on that stage and stuff like that, will you put Randy's bass up on that stage and go on when you guys go out on that road?
Well, we have been playing. We have had Steve Unger from Metal Church filling in, and every show I dedicate every show to Randy, and Good. Also the album that's coming out, and the whole tour, and and it's this album, by the way, the artwork is all based on him, and
wow.
He played in all the tracks. He's part of the songwriting, and and it's a full-on dedication to his legacy.
The song "This Ain't the Place I Want to Be," I love the way that you put those guitars first. Now, when you first sat down to write this song, was it that way, or is it something that you built while you were in the studio?
No, this was an intro that Jimmy Bell had as a guitar player, and he had those hammer-ons, that were going, and Mark, our drummer, but he's also an engineer, he was able to pan them stereo, and so there was a really cool, especially if you listen to it in headphones, there's a really cool effect of them coming in and coming out from each side, but no, that was written, and then some of the music was written. And then we finished up the melodies and the lyrics, put the parts together. But like all the other songs that were written, we never really. I mean, this was a process of 2 weeks of bang, bang, bang. We wrote 20 songs. We wrote 20 songs and picked 12 of the best ones that we liked. But it was very effortless. It was not. It really just, came from second nature.
So then what do you do with the other songs? You just put them away for a future release? Because I'm sure fans would love to be a part of that.
Well, it's just because, these days it's already hard enough to make them concentrate in more than one song, at the time. So, since we were not actually planning on doing a full-on album, we were just, into this whole mentality of releasing a single at the time, which is what a lot of bands do and put all the focus in it. But then Frontiers Records approached us and said, well, why don't you guys just do a full album? And we said, well, okay. Well, listen, we're artists, musicians, songwriters, and you don't have to twist our arm. This is what we want to do. So it was a process of 2 weeks. And then another 2 or 3 weeks to record. We did it at Mark's studio. He engineered, and it's all self, produced. And we the other songs were written within the 2 weeks. I had four songs prior to that I modified a little bit, and Jimmy Bell brought some musical parts, and then Mark and I went into the studio, and then Randy came to LA, and in 8 days and cut his bass, and it was a really nice process.
So when you guys come together like that, is that the reason why when it comes to mastering the hook of the song, you collaborate together to get to that part of the song where we can sing along at the same time? Every instrument has its own role, and it's for some reason it's just so smooth.
Well, because arrangement is very important, and so sometimes it's better to record less tracks and have each performance, each take be really, really wonderful, and so you have, and then you got to make sure that things don't interfere with others. But a lot of this has to do with a mix, so we're just able to separate the instruments so you can actually hear them as one, but also if you pay attention to each one of them, you can hear their arrangement.
You're so true about that, because I like to break down the music. I don't like listening to music necessarily in the house. I like to go where I can sit there and study what's going on with you. I want to hear your fingers moving on those guitars. I want to hear that foot hit the floor and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
And then and when we left some accidents that happened, like there's a couple of songs that have noises after that we didn't correct purposely, just so it would give that studio vibe. And but it went very smooth, and every take, every track, every instrument has its own importance. And of course, there was more sometimes, and we thought it was too much. We eliminated some, but in the end of the mix, we wanted to have something that you'd be able to listen to as one. Like if you're driving your car, it just hits you and makes you want to drive fast, or do the same thing that you just said right now. Sit somewhere and say, listen, I'm just want to listen to the bass arrangement right now. I just want to listen to the guitar arrangement or whatever. And so you're able to do all that with this record.
You're so right about that when it comes to music, because I do have my favorite songs in the car. I also have my favorite songs when I'm out walking through the forest and when I'm at work and things like that. Really, I mean, that's the kind of music that you guys have always provided, in the way of that wherever you are, we've got something for you.
Exactly, and it's also, like I said, open to interpretation. Yep. The lyrics are important to us as well, and they're not so specific where you can actually interpret them. Each person can interpret them in the way that they want to interpret. But there is, we don't want to tell people, exactly what something is. We just want to make them sort of like have their own feel for it, because it's a lot more interesting, because people relate to things due to their life experiences, and everybody have different life experiences. So
true. You on those lead vocals, aren't you like being the front man, you connect fans to the soul of the sound. It's almost like you're the carnival barker saying, come on in, everybody, come on in. There is a show waiting for you.
Well, it's not even that hard, really. I mean, first of all, I also play guitar. I mean, I'm a big part of the guitar sound of the But no, this is a band that is basically a people's band, and then we just played two shows now this weekend, one in Mississippi and one in Des Plaines, Illinois, and it doesn't take much. We don't have an intro tape. We don't have somebody usually announcing us. The lights go out. I go to the front of the stage. We don't play one note, and I look at them, and I just open my arms, and then everybody just start going nuts. And then I hype them up with a couple of questions, and then we bang it, and then from there on, by the last 3-4 songs of the set, everybody's on their feet, and we played theaters that had seats, so that should say something.
Simon, that's one of the greatest feelings in the world when you're in front of that crowd. I mean, the music hasn't started yet. You're just taking in the energy of the moment.
You don't say anything. You just go there, open your arms like you're doing a virtual group hug. Yeah. And everybody's just melt. It's all about love. It's all about rock and roll. It's all about having a good time. It's all about including everybody. It's about looking at every person in the audience. It's about including the balcony, the left, the right, the back. It's all about, and quite honestly, half the show, it's crowd participation, because we let them sing, we hear them. Sometimes they sing so loud we don't hear ourselves.
See, that's one of the things I've always liked about catching you guys live is I always feel it doesn't matter where I'm sitting. I feel like that when you look out over at that crowd, I'll go, shit, he looked at me. Oh my God, I know he saw me.
Yeah, and I probably did, because I make sure that I try to make some eye contact throughout the show.
Yeah,
with as many people as I can.
Yeah. Okay, so the tour puts you out on the road with some of the most amazing bands. I mean, Quiet Riot, Stryper, Skid Row. I mean, you have got to be having the time of your life.
Well, we've been doing this now for I've been in this situation for 9 years now. Yeah. So, we toured a lot. We played a lot of big places. We actually played the arenas and for 12, 15,000 people with packages and stuff, festivals and all that. So yes, it's the best feeling in the world, especially when you see so many people, forgetting about their problems and just dancing and jumping and throwing their arms up, and that's what we're there for.
I'm still shocked, Simon, that somewhere along the line, with all the music that you guys have put together, or any musician, that they don't just say that you're doctors, because in a really great way, you are a medicinal to people that tap into it. Well,
you can say that. I mean, it's music is a form of therapy, and if you go to a show, my take on it is that you want to just, it's kind of like supposed to be an escape.
Yep.
Or at least a journey, or no different than going to Disneyland or something that you go to, to have a great fun.
Yeah. So where can listeners go to find out more about the new album? Because it doesn't come out until November. But this song here, though, needs to be a part of their play on the streets. And where can they go to get tickets and things like that? Because I know you guys are very interactive with the listeners.
Well, right now they can go to autographband.net, and then there's you can order the CD there. You have our tour dates, you have photos, you have some footage. It's basically our legitimate website, and it also linked to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So it's just like a one-stop place. Just go to autographband.net, and the video can be seen on YouTube under the Frontiers label, and it's probably spreading out through other channels at this point.
Oh yeah, and and listeners need to understand that you're not going to watch it just one time. You're going to hit repeat and watch it again and again, because there's just something about it. There is really, and that's being noticed, that we know we have something there, and there's a couple other songs there too. One that's called "Feel So Good," and there's one called "Take Me Higher." That song, I believe, can cross to 3 or 4 different genres. We'll see what happens, but we're very happy with the record, and like I said, I listen. Sometimes I take a break from listening to it 2 weeks, and I come back and I listen to it, and I'm like, wow, yeah, that's really, 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 because when you stay away from something, when you come back to it, you have a clearer vision of it. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So yes, we're very pleased with it and how everything turned out. Because in the process of making a record like this, there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and a lot of things that can interfere. But it was just since because we're the four of us, we have abilities that make us pretty much self-sufficient.
Absolutely.
We don't need producers. We don't need engineers. We are. That's what we do. That's what we are. Mark, our drummer who engineered this record, he has worked with Bruno Mars.
Oh, wow.
He has worked. These are big time people. So it's like, and then we have it mastered by another friend that does Def Leppard and all these bands. So we're all in good hands.
See, didn't that remind you of the childhood days when you would sit there with a cassette recorder and say, okay, everybody ready? Everybody get your instruments ready. And then, okay, I'm going to hit play now. And it's like, here we go. I mean, you guys are in total control.
Yeah, not only that. I mean, of the music, yes. I mean, with Frontiers, in the beginning, they try to kind of A&R us a little bit, but in the second song, but that's because it was a new signing. Yeah. And then we just sent them some stuff, and they just complete the record, and then we just completed the record, and then they were blown away.
Simon, you got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. You be brilliant today, okay?
And feel free to reach out anytime.